Welcome back to the channel. Today we are here with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and in this video I just wanted to show you a couple of lost artifacts that you can find in the very opening mission that are missable, and also just give a little review of the game as well on top of that from what I've played so far. But first, in the opening mission, I'm not going to try to spoil things too much, but you do recreate a similar scene to something in one of the films, and during this you get a cutscene where Indiana Jones will whip out his whip and smack someone's gun out of their hand. After this cutscene is where you will find the two artifacts on this mission. So as you continue past that cutscene, you'll go to enter a temple. You run up a little hill and there is a door there. If you turn to the left, there is a pathway that runs through the trees and brush, and you will end up in like a little bit of a ruins area. In this area, there are two sections for you to crouch under on two different sides and go and collect two artifacts. Now, I'm not fully aware of what these artifacts do. I do know that there is a trophy to return all the lost artifacts, but I don't know whether this one will count towards those due to a time difference within the game after this mission, and when you start the official game, it will make sense once you play. However, if you don't want to miss these, make sure you grab them before you go. So let's talk about the game. If you have been seeing reviews online, there are a lot of complaints about varying things, and I think some of them hold some weight. However, I think there is a lot of disparaging comments about this game just because it doesn't feel like Devil May Cry action RPG, running around, jumping around, slashing and doing crazy moves. I think this game shouldn't be looked at in that way. This game should be looked at as if it was an Indiana Jones film. Two of the main complaints are it feeling clunky, and the AI of the characters, the enemies and stuff are a bit crap. But let's think about this realistically. If this game is looked at more like a film, a real life scenario, you know, when you get into fights in real life, you're not Muhammad Ali, you're not, you know, any kind of like Jackie Chan. You are going to feel slow, and while you're fighting, you're going to feel clunky. I think this game is goofy, and I think that the complaints about clunkiness and stuff fits that goofy narrative. It's a film game basically, or at least a franchise of films turned into a video game. So I think that the clunkiness actually adds to the game. I think it makes it feel more, and I don't want to say immersive because that's just an easy buzzword to say, but I do actually feel like the clunkiness serves the game well. Now, the other main complaint is the AI, and yes, the AI does have some issues. Again, it adds to the goofiness, but for the most part, it could be a bit more challenging. It could be a bit better scripted. However, I will say that if you play this game more of a stealth-based game rather than trying to get into combat with people, at least at the start of the game anyway, you're going to enjoy it a lot more because you won't have to see that bad AI as often. Later on in the game, enemies will start to get guns and stuff, which means they'll be fighting from range, which means that you then using your weapons and stuff makes sense in terms of how the game plays and how it feels. At the start of the game, you know, you can just stand there shooting people as they're running towards you because they're all running at you trying to punch you. But I would suggest in the first part of the game to not use your gun at all. I think you should save your ammo for one, because ammo is scarce in this game, but to, you know, get the best out of the game, play it stealth like, you know, grab weapons, hit people, take them down, etc, etc. I think that makes the game more comfortable at the start of the game. As you get through the game, as I have, it gets a little bit more complex when it comes to AI. It's still not great AI, and they could have done way better, but I think if you just break the game down in that sense, it just makes it a lot more enjoyable throughout the game. There are a lot of positives to this game. The graphics, utterly incredible. You do lose some frames during transitionings from cutscenes to the normal game, but I've come to expect that in most games on console. I'm sure on PC it will run smoothly, but overall the game runs great. It looks incredible. The acting, the voice acting, the modeling, the 3D, everything, it just looks incredible. One of the better looking games I've seen in a very, very, very long time. The music in this game and the sound effects that happen are very film-like, and they're very subtle but really suit the environment. I think it's, you know, a well-crafted game on so many levels. And probably the main part about this game is going to be exploring and also puzzles and stuff. So what I will say is I think people think that exploration is going to be like The Witcher or Assassin's Creed. You know, exploration in this game, it doesn't feel limited, but it doesn't feel expanse either. But what I've found is when you're exploring, you will find things that you don't necessarily need for the game, but it's definitely worth having. For instance, in the very first main mission, when you're at Indy's university, college, or wherever he is, you will have a point where you have to go follow a character out of the place that you're at. I'm trying not to make any spoilers, but if you don't initially go and follow that person, you can search the upstairs rooms and find notes and letters, which gives you adventure points, and those adventure points allow you to be able to, you know, get better abilities, get stronger, and do different things within the game. So while exploration may feel like it's not that great, there are reasons to go and do it. For instance, I found those 2 artifacts by exploring that one little pathway. So everything seems to have a reason. When it comes to other things like puzzles, so far the puzzles have been great. Some of them seem fairly easy, but some of them are a little bit more complex and challenging, and you really have to think about what you're doing. And some of the side missions that I've done so far feel like real missions. They don't feel like filler fluff. They feel like main story quests. You feel like they're worth doing. You get great story, great new additions to the game in varying ways, which obviously I won't ruin. But everything about this game in terms of being immersed in the world and playing and meeting characters and doing side stories and puzzles and all that stuff feels incredible. The only main 2 complaints are the clunkiness and the AI. If you can't get your head around the idea that I put out about it feeling good because it's clunky, that it feels more realistic, I totally understand that people don't enjoy it for its clunkiness. I do think the main problem with this game is the AI, and hopefully they put out a patch or something to make it, just to make it a bit better. So should you buy this game? If you're a huge Indiana Jones fan, I think there's no reason why you shouldn't buy it to get early access. If you don't, you know, you're not too fussed and, you know, you can wait, just get it on Game Pass for free in 3 days from now on the 9th. Definitely worth playing though, regardless of whether you buy it or not. I think it's a really interesting, cool game, and I think everyone should at least try it before, you know, sending it to the bowels of gaming hell like we seem to always do now. But that's about it. That's the video. I just wanted to show the artifacts so you don't miss them, and then just give my thoughts, give my little review. Thank you for watching. I've been easy. I know you guys have been awesome.